Okay, so here's an activity you can do at home. So we want to make lemonade. So we know that one batch of lemonade needs 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 1/2 cups of lemon juice, and 6 cups of water. However, if we're throwing a party and we need a bigger batch of lemonade, and we want to make 18 1/2 cups of lemonade, how much sugar, lemon juice, and water will we need to use? So first, what we're going to do, we're going to put everything into a nice little chart, organize this for ourselves. So we have the original recipe here. So the cups of water that we need is 6 cups. The cups of sugar needed is 1 3/4 cups, and cups of lemon juice needed is 1 1/2 cups. And then we figured that all came to 9 1/4 cups of lemonade for the original recipe. So what we did was we just added the 6 cups, the 1 3/4, and the 1 1/2. First, I added the whole numbers. As you can see, 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So I wrote that down there. And then I added the 3/4 and the half together. So we have that down here. To add fractions, you always need to make sure they have common denominators, right? So right now we don't have a common denominator because there's 1/2 has a denominator of 2 and 3/4 has a denominator of 4. So to do that, I would just multiply these by 2 to give me 4. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 3 and 4, 3/4 plus 2/4 equals 5/4, which actually equals 1 1/4. And then I added that to our 8. So 8 plus 1 is 9, plus the 1/4 is 9 1/4 cups of lemonade. Okay? So if I want to get from 9 1/4 cups of lemonade to 18 1/2 cups of lemonade, because remember, we want to do a bigger recipe, how many cups of water, how many cups of sugar, and how many cups of lemon juice am I going to need? So first, what we're going to do, we're going to figure out how many cups does it take to get to 18 1/2 cups from 9 1/4. Okay, so what we can do is figure out how many times do I need to, how many copies of 9 1/4, or how many copies of a fourth do I need for that? So I can do, say this is 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 right? So here we have 9 cups. And we're going to do plus a fourth. So we're going to divide each part into 4s. So this is our 1/4. Actually, let me pick a different color so you guys can see a bit better. Let's try blue. Okay, so this is our 1/4 here. And then everything else I'm just going to shade in because each hole is needed to make up the 9 cups, right? So, right, the 9 cups plus the 1/4. So to get to 18 1/2 cups, what we need to do is divide by a half or multiply by 2. But what makes sense most in this problem is to multiply by 2 because we need a greater batch, right? So we're going to multiply, create more, do a bigger multiple of the 9 1/4 cups. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide each section, each fourth, into a half, right? Because, or into 2 parts, because times 2. That's what we need to do, right? So if I if I split each part into 2 pieces, each part is now going to be worth an eighth.